comments are not valid. Like you said, Celtics played a better game. They had better tactics. They knew where to strike and what time to strike. For me, Middendorp or Ernst Middendorp needs to find another strategy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the football podcast with no name. My name is Thabang Cheez. I'm joined by my co-host, Bongani, Bongz Nkosi. Bongz, how are you, sir?
Hey, good day, Mr. Cheez. I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm very well. I'm glad that Ramaphosa did the right thing and opened up the gateways for us to purchase our things.
The tap. He's opened up the tap, this man, so things are flowing all right.
With some of us, we are no more hiking now. We are back home and enjoying ourselves. Anyway, let's talk about football. This is what we're here for. Let's start with the Absa Premiership. This week in the Absa Premiership title race, Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs lost. Pirates and Wits drew, and SuperSport United won their games respectively. Which contender will be the most happy, content, unhappy about this week's results?
I think, obviously, in my opinion, because of the results from the previous matches with Sundowns and Chiefs losing, I think that Mamelodi Sundowns will be happier of any of the teams on the log, because remember, they had lost a game and basically they had dropped the ball with the loss that they got. But with Kaizer Chiefs losing means that they can still recover. They will return to the normal set of points that was before they lost that match. So I think they will be happier. And obviously that also opens up the door for other teams such as Vets and SuperSport, who are third with only a few points difference. It might be 8, but remember, we have 5 games left and this is the PSL. You never know what's going to happen. But according to me, Mamelodi Sundowns will be the happier side because they are only now just 3 points behind Chiefs.
Mamelodi Sundowns, yes, will be the happiest of the team because after they lost to Cape Town City, you saw Pitso Mosimane was very worried and he didn't know what he could do to himself because he thought it was over then. Because if Chiefs won their game, they would have been 9 points ahead. And with only 5 games to go, I think it was the fat lady would have been singing by then. 9 points with only five games to go, as I'm saying. But now that Kaizer Chiefs have lost against Bloemfontein Celtics, it puts them only 6 points behind and with a game in hand. So what this means is that Kaizer Chiefs, which are looking very shaky, should Mamelodi Sundowns win their game in hand, and then they play Kaizer Chiefs and win their game, you see they're on equal points. So my money right now would be on Sundowns winning everything. Actually, I've always stated that I think Sundowns will win everything. It's just unfortunate now they've been playing like, I don't know what type of team, but we'll probably get to that later. Kaizer Chiefs have been lacking their way through their wins, and with 5 games to go, I think the luck might have run out. Orlando Pirates, on the other hand, they're not scoring goals. Coach Zinnbauer tried to shake things up by bringing in certain players, but still it's the same situation for Pirates. So they are unhappy and they have no chance of winning the league. SuperSport United have I wrote an article about them having a chance, but I think with 4 games, they only have 4 games to go, being 8 points behind Kaizer Chiefs. I think that may be a stretch. Bidvis. Firstly, they don't want to be here. You can just see Gavin Hunt at his post game interviews. The guy is distraught. It's like his dog had died. He just doesn't want to be here anymore because of the situation of the club being sold. So, with that being said, I think that the happiest team out of the bunch is Mamelodi Sundowns.
Indeed, that makes things interesting. And again, staying in the PSL, Kaizer Chiefs coach Ernst Middendorp has criticized Kaizer Chiefs players' attitude following their 3-1 loss to Bloemfontein Celtic, saying that, open quote, it's always something when you take it too easy, and I think we had this problem today, and close quote. Do Ernst Middendorp's comments have any validity in this matter?
Ernst Middendorp, let's just get this one out the way. Ernst Middendorp, if Kaizer Chiefs do not win the league, Ernst Middendorp will be very much unemployed. He'll be putting in his CV on PNet and Career Junction, like the rest of South Africa, because there is no way they can be 6 points ahead with 5 games to go and they let this one slip. The loss against Bloemfontein Celtics is 100% Ernst Middendorp's fault. It has nothing to do with Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs are the most predictable team in the PSL right now. The only way they can score is through a set piece. They scored a set piece against Bloemfontein Celtics. They scored a couple of goals against Polokwane City via the set piece. They scored against Bidvest via the set piece. So they're very dangerous via the set piece. But otherwise, there's nothing else they're doing. Players like Castro, we don't know exactly what is the function in the team. Lebu Manyama is not playing like Lebu Manyama that he played in the first half of the season. And then in the defense, those players look lost. I don't think they've practiced. Maybe it's Corona or something, but it seems like this 3-5-2 formation that they're trying, they've never practiced in their lives before because they just look lost. Bloemfontein Celtics just kept on playing them on the wings. Well done, John Maduka, and outplayed, out tactically Ernst Middendorp on the day because he was just the smarter coach and he planned well for Kaizer Chiefs. And I think should every team take the tactics that John Maduka did and put it in their team, they'll have the beating of Kaizer Chiefs. So I don't think it has anything to do with the players taking it easy. I think it has everything to do with his tactics.
I also support that sentiment there because remember, Maduka is also not maybe a decorated coach like Ernst Middendorp, who's supposed to be from Germany, a tactical genius. But we haven't seen that at all. What we've seen is Mazinho.com. He was even named Mazinho.com here in South Africa because at a certain point in time, he was mid and draw. Kaizer Chiefs couldn't win a game. They just were drawing the whole season. Again, it's his second stunt in the team. And his comments is the players were taking it too easy. I think that there are mainly 2 or 3 things at Kaizer Chiefs. First of all, for me, the team now is old. They need to try and buy or get younger players, maybe promote a bit more, which they seemed to do before Ernst Middendorp came, but eventually it faded out with him now putting those younger players in the bench or on the bench. We see Bonjangase are not playing. We see Zuma, they were coming up first half of the season. They were performing well. You don't see those names anymore on the team sheet. Some of the players were sold. So I think that the second thing, as I mentioned, the first thing is the players are getting too old and there's not too much quality in the team. The second thing, I think, like I said, the tactics of the coach are basically too stale. And like you said, all they do is just they get a set piece and they score from that. And most of the goals Kaizer Chiefs scored, in fact, from this season were from set pieces, where you have a striker like Nokovic, who just is a tall guy. He just finds the right area in the box and heads the ball in from the corner. Bolebuhang Manyama have many assists because of that. They just shy the corner there. The guy headers in. It's a beautiful goal, and they are getting the praise, but I don't think it's necessarily that way. So for me, I think his comments are not valid. Like you said, Celtics played a better game. They had better tactics. They knew where to strike and what time to strike. For me, Middendorp or Ernst Middendorp needs to find another strategy, or else this season won't end well for them. Remember, they were at some point 12 points leading, and now it's down to 4 or 5 points. And if you look at it carefully, it's only 3 points that they are leading in with the game that they have against Mamelodi Sundowns very soon. I also don't think that it will end well for Ernst this season.
Moving on to another Soweto Giant, a struggling Soweto Giant. Orlando Pirates coach Josef Zinnbauer has blamed COVID-19 for his team's dip in form. Pirates have gone on a run of 5 matches without a victory while scoring just 1 goal. Do you buy Coach Zinnbauer's story about COVID-19 being the reason that his team haven't been playing well?
I don't buy that story at all. I think, yes, being a coach of a big team like Orlando Pirates, yes, there's a lot of pressure. And at certain times you have to say certain things to try and put out the fire. I mean, these people have drawn 4 times in their last 5 matches, and they have lost the previous one. So they've lost 1 and drew 4. And yes, for some reason they are lucky. They are still at the top of the top half of the table there, still having a chance maybe to even finish in the top 3, or if he plays his cards right. But I don't blame the COVID-19. It's like saying, we were not playing any games, and now we are playing a huge number of games and we are not ready. So it means that when the season closes and people are doing preseason, they might have the same excuse to say, by the way, it's preseason and the season just opened, so we are not ready. It's not an excuse. If you're a soccer player, you're a professional. If you are a professional team like Orlando Pirates and you have a professional coach like Josef, it's not enough for me. There's no storytelling here. At the end of the day, some teams are winning. What did they do differently that they are not doing? I think there's a lot as well happening at Pirates that we don't know about, and I think that is what's causing all of this debacle.
Yes, as you're saying, there's a lot at Orlando Pirates that we do not know about. The suspension of their best player without telling us what is it exactly that has gotten that player suspended. Is the playing also his tactics? The 4-2-3-1 of his is very stale. He has no goal scorers. The midfielders, Ben Motswari is a good player who gives a lot, but in terms of maybe he's tracking back and he's also assisting in attack. But technically, I don't really rate him as a player. Okay, Fortune Makarenge is a very good player who can play those 1-2s and also has chances where he gets shots on goal. But this something missing. I cannot put my finger on it. He's attacking players. They are attacking players, but they don't score. I've never seen such attacking players with the leading goal scorer, Gabadinho Mahango. He had a good stretch of 5 games where he was scoring non-stop. Now he can't even, I don't know, he can't even get an opportunity to shoot on goal. He can't even shoot a shot on target. So we don't know what's happened to his form. But then again, we can't expect one player to carry the whole team because, as I'm saying, those maybe half dozen games where we are scoring a bulk of Orlando Pirates goals, he was the only one scoring the goals. So if Gabadinho Mahango doesn't score goals, Orlando Pirates doesn't score goals, which means they are overly reliant on that player, which is obviously going to be a problem later on when that player loses form against not Polokwane City, but Baroka during the week. He started with Tsofatso Mabaso, and he that was a good decision because he's an out-and-out striker, and he did manage to score. So that did, I suppose, that's I suppose a step in the right direction. But why did it take him only 5 games for him to think of that? Pirates have it's been 0-0 for the past 5 games since they lost to Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, what kind of nonsense? I've never seen such nonsense in my life. But anyway, maybe there's a certain bias because, as you know, I am a Orlando Pirates supporter. But it's just very strange to me. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. As you're saying, there are other teams who are scoring goals. There are the likes of Cape Town City, who have been playing well after the COVID. So is he saying that? I think what he means is that his team wasn't prepared after the COVID-19. That's what he's trying to tell us. And if his team wasn't prepared, then guess who's at fault? He's the one that's at fault for that. So he must be blamed. He must not be blaming exterior factors for something that he has control over. That's all I have to say about Coach Zinnbauer and his excuse.
Yeah, moving abroad, leaving the excuses behind in South Africa. Manchester United co-owner Joe Glazer stands firm and strictly expresses his reluctance to meet Dortmund's 120 million euros asking price for Jadon Sancho. Should Manchester United just pay the money, or is Dortmund asking a bit too much for this player?
Jadon Sancho, I think, of course, he's an English player, and as we know that English player have a certain premium on them. If a player from France is 10 million, if he's English, he'll be 30 million, as you know. And especially if Manchester United is after that player, then they're going to put another 20 million on top because they feel that Manchester United has a lot of money, which unfortunately for them is true. We all know that they have money. Should they, answering the question, should they pay the money for Jadon Sancho? I feel that Manchester United lack in other areas in terms of where they need to strengthen up the team. At the back, they have 2 full-backs that I do not rate at all in Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. They are below standard, in my opinion. Centre-back, they have Maguire and Lindelof. Maguire, they paid a whole lot of money for him, and he's a captain. I don't know how, but he'll be playing. So obviously he can never bench. But Lindelof, unfortunately, he needs to go. And to get and as you know, very good center backs nowadays are very hard to find. So why not take 80 million, give it to Napoli to sign that central defender, I forget his name there, rather than spending 120 million on an attacking player. Rashford is there, Greenwood is there, Martial is there. I think in the attacking third they have enough. It's just that those boys just need to be more clinical in front of goal. But I don't think 120 million euros is worth it.
Yeah, we're looking at that asking price for Jadon Sancho, and that's just one player. I think that for me personally, Dortmund are asking a bit too much for the youngster. I don't rate him. I do understand he's a very good player, taking nothing from him, but I don't rate him at a very high performance rate as a player that will carry the team, as a player that will come in and score 3 goals in a game. I'd even put Lukaku, Romelu Lukaku, as a better addition to your team compared to Jadon Sancho, because at the end of the day, if a player like that comes into your team, you are looking at probably more assists in the attacking half, more passing and movement, and maybe a little bit of speed. But for 120 mil, I think that's too much for me. And I think that Joel Glazer has a point there. Talking about this expensive price. And as you mentioned, there's other areas at Manchester United where they can look at improving. And that's a good point. And I think that, especially there at the back, as you mentioned, there's a lot of gaps and question marks, if you ask me, with their performances. They even lost that semi-final against Sevilla after having quite a good attacking game and leading the game. You can see that we are creating. Maybe they were missed opportunities, but at the end of the day, the fault was at the back, and Sevilla scored that game. Manchester lost that match. So I think it's too much of an asking price for me.
Moving on to the Champions League, PSG and Bayern Munich have qualified for the Champions League final after beating RB Leipzig and Olympique Lyon, respectively. Who is favored? Who is favored going into Sunday's showdown? Who do you have your money on, Bongz?
Well, obviously, I have my money on Bayern. I have no doubt Bayern will lift this trophy. PSG, look, they're a great team, and they have Mbappe, they have a Neymar, they have a Di Maria, they have, quite a few experienced players and quite big names as well in their team sheet. But they are not a team that, for me, that performs at such a high level where they can demolish Bayern Munich. And again, they don't have the type of defense that you can say against Bayern. Maybe they will go and defend and maybe counter and score in the counter. They're not that type of team. So they are a team that goes pound to pound with the team. And looking on paper, looking at PSG and looking at Bayern is a German machine. I think that these boys are not here to play. If they can punish Barcelona by 8 goals, it shows you the strength and quality of these players. And they just have too many resources. If they see something is not working on the field, they can go to the bench and bring Coutinho on and bring a bunch of other players on to aid them. And I think that, for me, my money is on Bayern. I think that they won this Champions League by beating Barcelona on that fateful historic day that caused people, even Messi, to ask to be transferred. So I think that Bayern will take this one.
Yes, in terms of who's my money on, of course, my money is on Bayern Munich. But before I get there, let me just put this out straight as we should have. We must not, beat around the bush. Whoever wins this one, we cannot take this Champions League as a serious Champions League. To be honest, this Champions League of one legs it's not the serious Champions League. The Champions League, it's 2 legs, and because of Corona, now PSG are in the final. If PSG, I do not have any faith in PSG, but in a once-off, they have a chance because, like you're saying, they have players like Neymar and Mbappe, and those guys, they can light up any team on any given day. So that's why the past few seasons, over 2 legs, they've been failing. They even lost against what's his name, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's under-21 team last year. So in terms of this Champions League, I honestly, personally, cannot take it as a serious Champions League, as in I'm going to look at the winner as this, upper echelon, whatever. But I have my money on Bayern for this reason. Like you're saying, they have more depth. They are well-oiled machine. And when they want to beat you, they're going to beat you and they're going to strangle you at the same time. Not only do they shoot you, but they want to stab you. They want to finish you off. So I doubt that the PSG defense will hold Lewandowski, will hold who's the likes of Perisic and the likes of Miller, I doubt that will happen. So all my money is on Bayern Munich lifting the cup. They will be deserved winners, in my opinion.
Now, moving forward to our next one, Barcelona have confirmed Ronald Koeman as their new permanent head coach on a contract set to run until 2022. What do you think Koeman has to do to make Barcelona great again?
Ronald Koeman has a very big job on his hands. Barcelona right now are not one of the top European clubs, as we spoke about just 30 seconds ago when Bayern Munich put them to the sword. Without Messi, that team is in La Liga. It will probably finish number 6 in La Liga, there with Atletico Bilbao and those other clubs that we don't care about. So what that man needs to do, he needs to clean up shop. He needs to remove, starting from the back, the likes of Piqué, the likes of Alba. They need to go. Nelson Semedo, he's young, but the way he played against Bayern Munich, he's a cost of at least 4 goals. Of that 8, he's a cost of 4 goals. So now he needs to go. Then he needs to make signings. Neymar, it needs to be first and foremost. And then, of course, other defenders. We do not have time here to speak about the defenders he needs, but he needs a very solid spine, a defender, another midfielder. Busquets now is getting old, and another striker. Suarez, he had his time, but now he's just getting old. So he needs to make signings, and he needs to show, especially Messi, who's boss, because Messi is running that club like it's his mother's club. So he needs to show who's boss, come in there, remove all the senior players, just like Pep Guardiola did in the time of Ronaldinho. He wanted to get rid of Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o, and he did so. So that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, supporting that statement about Ronald having maybe even too much on his plate with Barcelona. It's a realistic thing. I mean, 8-2 losing to it's historical, and it's the first time it's ever happened to Barcelona, and I think that they have a huge job on their hands. They have to, I don't know if the coach is the right coach, but at the end of the day, we'll only find out later with the players maybe that he will bring in and the players that he will release and maybe let go. We hope that Messi doesn't leave, as you mentioned. I think that's the important thing here, or the biggest thing with the team. If they lose Messi, I think that Barcelona will struggle for many more years to come without maybe even winning the Champions League, maybe even spending the next 2 or 3 seasons lingering maybe at a position number 5 or 4 or even 6 or even worse. Because remember, when you bring in a new coach, when you recycle the team, if you don't spend big and make sure you spend in the right areas, you will suffer a bit. So a huge change is coming. And as you mentioned, players like Piqué are old, Rakitic is old, Sergio Busquets is old, there in the middle, Semedo, look, not effective enough. And a whole bunch of other players there that maybe need a second look. At the end of the day, Bo Vidal, I mean, I don't even know why he came to Barcelona. So at the end of the day, he has a big job for me. For me, he has a big job to do. I doubt that he'll make Barcelona great again. It will take magic to do so. And as you mentioned, the first steps would be to keep Messi, maybe get Neymar back, and then sign huge imported defenders. I don't know whether they will get them, because Virgil van Dijk will not leave Liverpool. All the hot players at the moment are taken by important teams like Man City, Liverpool, Dortmund. Even teams like Inter Milan have signed players. So it will be a rough patch and rough time for Barcelona.
Okay, moving on to our quick hits. Chelsea consider move for PSG defender Thiago Silva on a free transfer. Taking the other signings into consideration, Ziyech and Timo Werner, would Thiago Silva close the gap between Chelsea and the top two in the league?
For me, I think Chelsea can close that gap purchasing Thiago because remember, they are a team that feeds on a good, strong defense, good, strong players, and that will catch you on the break, that will break you down by force. So for me, it would be a good signing for Chelsea.
Yes, I think this will be a good signing for Chelsea, like you're saying, but the gap, I'm not too sure how much of the gap they'll close. Thiago Silva is obviously now over 30. He's not that Thiago Silva that we know as one of the best defenders in the world. And there's a lot more defenders that they need to buy. They need to get rid of the likes of Cesar Azpilicueta, even though he's the captain, but that guy needs to go. He's finished. And Rudiger and Zuma, not Jacob, but the other one. Those guys are good, but not good enough to win the league or the Champions League, in my opinion.
A second quick hit: Dion Horto is set to earn over 500,000 a month at Orlando Pirates next season. Is he worth that type of money?
Firstly, I'm not even sure if Dion Horto is a first-team player at Bidvest Wits. How is he going to come in at Orlando Pirates and earn such a large salary, unless that is the salary that players are earning nowadays? I do not think that Dion Horto is worth 500,000. There are these youngsters that are up and coming that they can pay 100,000 each. Those are 5 very good players. Dion Horto, for me, he's not with that type of money. He doesn't score enough goals. He doesn't have enough assists, in my opinion.
Yes, I support that sentiment there with Dion Horto. I don't think he's a player worth that much money. I think that the reason people are talking about Dion Horto is because he scored 2 goals beating Mamelodi Sundowns, I think, or something like that. At the end of the day, just because a player is on form and is scoring new goals doesn't mean he's worth that kind of money. If Dion Horto, firstly, number one, was a leading top goal scorer in the PSL, I would say maybe give him 300,000, not even 5. Because remember, at the end of the day, he's smaller in structure. Not to say smaller in structure players don't perform, but as an attacking player, you need a serious attack if you're Orlando Pirates because they play Champions League. I don't see Dion Horto challenging guys from Ghana and scoring goals in the Champions League. Not worth it for me.
Gareth Bale interested in a return to the Premier League. Mourinho wants the Welshman at Tottenham. What would this signing mean for both Spurs and Bale?
I think that Gareth Bale should have never left Tottenham in the first place. Yes, Madrid was, an attractive team to go to, but judging by his performance, even when he got at Madrid and the stuff that is happening now, I doubt that his move was football orientated or focused, because he just went for the money and for just the name of playing for Real Madrid. And for me, it hasn't worked out. So him going back to Spurs, it doesn't really mean anything, because at the end of the day, he'll just be helping Real Madrid get rid of him.
Yes, Gareth Bale, what this will mean for Spurs is that at least they have a left-sided attacker. Lamela, okay, he wasn't in the starting lineup, but he'd come in. Mourinho would put him in the second half, but he used him more as an attacking midfielder. So they didn't have much width. Maybe now with Bale, he can assist them with that. And what it means for Madrid is finally they get rid of this guy that it seems like he was toxic in the dressing room. it just didn't seem right, the relationship between Madrid and Gareth Bale. So I suppose it's good riddance from the Madrid fans if this happens, of course.
Of course, and ex-Kaizer Chiefs winger Junior Kanye has been receiving hate for the way he's been talking about his former team. Has the criticism of Chiefs this season been fair or foul?
I don't know if those people who are giving Junior Kanye this hate have been actually listening to what he's been saying, because everything that Junior Kanye has been saying has been making sense to me. He has been talking to this guy, I forget his name. Sorry, I was about to give him a plug here on our podcast, Ikasi Football or something like that. But he shows up on that guy. So, and everything that guy says, for me, it makes sense. He's been criticizing the coach on things that you can see that they make sense. And what he said, by him saying that he thinks Mamelodi Sundowns are going to win the league, I'm not too sure what they'd like him to say. If he thinks Chiefs are not good enough right now, he has the right to say it.
Yeah, I also support that. I think that we're a country that is free. We have freedom of speech in our country. On top of that, a democratic country. And what Junior Kanye chooses to say about Kaizer Chiefs is his own issue or choice. Now, at the end of the day, even if he speaks the truth, I doubt that people will like him, because we only want to hear nice things about Kaizer Chiefs, and no one wants to hear the bad stuff. So at the end of the day, people will hate because they love Kaizer Chiefs. But at the end of the day, I think it is better to listen and analyze what other people are saying than to shoot them down and share your hate speech, which doesn't help you, help him, or help the team at the end of the day.
Liverpool are considering Thiago Alcantara transfer, but Liverpool are already well stocked in that department. Should they sign the star player, or should they look elsewhere to strengthen up their team?
I think that for me, Liverpool are trying to be consistent and in creating history, so winning trophies. They've won the Champions League, they've won the EPL. So at the end of the day, I think that they have a clever tactical coach who wants to keep going, and Thiago Alcantara may be a good addition to the team, whether he will strengthen the team or maybe be a player that will come off the bench and help the Liverpool team. At the end of the day, there will be a stronger side, so I support it from my side.
Yeah, Thiago has been one of the best players in the Champions League since it returned, but I'm not too sure if Jurgen Klopp will use him the right way. Jurgen Klopp likes midfielders, that are hard marking, that are hard workers. That's why he has Gini, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and Henderson. I suppose that's his first team of midfielders. But like you're saying, because now they are champions and now they'll be trying to compete on different fronts, Champions League, FA Cup, this and that, they might need additional players. And he's obviously a quality player. I'm not too sure if he like coming off the bench though, but we'll see how that goes.
Yes, after their loss to Cape Town City, Pitso Mosimane said if his team does not win the league, they will at least have the Nedbank Cup to play for. Does that sound like a man who's confident that or confident in his team? And also confident to take over Chiefs with that 6-point lead they have?
Pitso Mosimane, as we know, he may be priming us for an excuse for later, as in, okay, guys, I don't win the league, but at least I won. These are the 2 cups. You know what I'm saying? When you could say, okay, there was never a point where Sundowns had firm control of winning the league, but Chiefs have been stumbling through the past months in the league, and Mamelodi Sundowns, as the former champions, had the opportunity to overtake them. So he needs to telling us that he has the other cups is really relevant. They are the reigning champions, and they should be fighting for the league.
Yeah, look, Jingles, we know Jingles, and we are now used to him. I think that some of the things that he says sometimes might come as ridiculous to certain people, but I always listen and look to analyze some of the things that he says, and he has truth in saying, look, if we don't win the PSL, we also can win the Netbank. If we don't win the Netbank, we can win the Makufe Cup, for example. But at the end of the day, this is a person who is talking about winning something. I'd rather have a coach talk about at least we'll win this cup or win that cup, as compared to a coach who's keeps saying that the players are underperforming and they were too slow. It doesn't help us with anything. So at the end of the day, for me, he does sound like a coach that wants to win something, and I think he's very realistic about his goals. If you can't win the Premier League, then at least he'll head for the Netbank. But at the end of the day, a chicken will be slaughtered.
Fair enough. And with that, we've come to the end of our show. Thank you for listening into this week's episode. Bongz, what will you be doing this weekend? What football will you be watching? What will be keeping you entertained?
Yeah, no, I think this weekend we are obviously looking to close the UEFA Europa League as well as the Champions League. So I'm looking forward to both those competitions to see who lifts the trophy. It might not count for much because of this COVID thing, because I think also the experience with the players won't be nice. There's no crowd and everything, but I think it will be nice to witness, and looking forward to other leagues. I mean, the French league has already started again with their next season. So we're looking forward to that, and also enjoying some PSL football. Obviously, at the end of the day, it is nice to watch our boys play football.
Yes, of course. A few hours from now, Mamelodi Sundowns will be playing with Maritzburg United. Mamelodi Sundowns cannot afford to slip up. I went on Twitter today, and the supporters are saying, please start Adile Jali. Of course, Adile Jali had his faults of getting up to no good during the lockdown, but I think that's a gentleman they need in the midfield right now, because the other guys are just not cutting it. Tomorrow, it's Polokwane City and Highlands Park, Barauka vs Chipa. Then on Sunday, more games in the title race. Cape Town City go against Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates do not have the shooting boots on. Let's see if they can change their tactics some more. We're looking for that boy Zungu to start, as many Orlando Pirates supporters have been asking, instead of Ben Motara, but Ben Motara will obviously start. Maybe Fortune Makaringe will be the one that takes the X. Kaizer Chiefs go against Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch have played well this season, considering they come from the Glad Africa Championship. They are 10th in the league. So, but Kaizer Chiefs need this win, and if they don't win, I think they will be overtaken, sooner rather than later. Anyway, that's it from us. From me, Thabang Cheez. It's sayonara, Bongz.
And from me, the Bongz, we thank you again for your patience and staying with us in the show. And we're looking forward to the next edition. Like we always say, keep watch, get ready, stay listening. Until the next time.